We have made it through an interesting time. We are making it through an interesting time. We have a long way to go still, but we are doing it as a club and as a community, as a family, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. Bart King this morning has our invocation, followed by Warren Bryant with the Pledge and Four-Way Test. Bart is making way up here, and we are anxiously awaiting his blessing on our day.
Let us pray. God of mercy, we worship you. We honor you. You're an awesome God. You come to us in many special ways, and we praise your name. We were made in your likeness and in your image, and we praise you for that. Our hands were made to help others. Our feet were made to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Our eyes were made to read your word and see the beauty of creation. Our body is the temple of the soul. We're meant to praise you and give you thanks. We confess we do not live with constant gratitude. We harbor resentment for what we lack. We blame you. We blame others. We doubt your compassion, even your power. We find it hard to give ourselves away to you or others in expressions of gratitude and praise. Forgive us, we pray, for attitudes and behaviors that diminish in us joyful thanksgiving. Heal and restore us. Help us to live holy and joyful lives. And we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Bart. All right, go ahead, sir. And we are excited to welcome all of you on Zoom. I'm looking at the screen, but you're actually right there. Welcome. Welcome to all of you who are joining us by Zoom. And Jane Covington is going to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians. I know we have at least one in person today. I don't think I see anybody on the Zoom call that's a visiting Rotarian or guest. But if we do not call you and you are visiting us today, please speak up. Let us know you're here. Jane?
Thank you, Keely. So today we have Commissioner Andrews with us, who is sort of part of our family anyway, but visiting officially from the Morning Club. So welcome. And we also have Will Burns, who is somewhere between a guest and a full member right now. So glad to have you, Will. That's right. Any Zoomers who are guests, speak up or forever hold your peace. Okay. So I'll also.
How about some happy bucks?
How about some happy bucks? Who couldn't be happy today with this weather and finally seeing each other in person? Who's happy? Oh, we can actually hand the money out today, too.
I am extremely happy because of all the help we got. Devin, Sarah, Larry, Sherry. I'm missing somebody, but if you weren't watching, we're a little bit of an anxiety show beforehand here, and hopefully all of this will be all of this will pay off and be a good presentation. So I'm happy about that.
Well, I am happy as well. From time to time, I'll mention my daughters. This is one of those times. Melissa, my younger daughter, has spent the last 7 years as an assistant district attorney in Manhattan. She has just accepted a position to join the U.S. Attorney's Office in Denver, Colorado. So she will be continuing with much of what she has been doing before, which has been child abuse and domestic abuse, but also into cyber cases and national security. So one of the results of this, she's accepted the offer, but they still have to vet her. So the FBI will be checking out her and our family. All I ask, if you get contacted, say nothing.
Thank you, Michael. Good luck to your family. Ray Little is happy today also.
Well, one, happy to be back, but two, having had the pleasure and all and the blessing to have worked with Betsy for 10 years as a commissioner, I wore my all-star jersey because I know today will be an all-star presentation. So
Curry's happy today. Oh, running too far away.
Oh, there you go. Well, just want to say, my son is over at Ravenwood High School in the football team, and we're happy they get to continue to play. So one more game.
Thank you. Curry.
This summer, spring and summer, since we couldn't have Rotary meetings, Jared organized our Romeo group, which stands for Retired Old Men Eating Out, in front of Five Guys over the shopping center. And we had Jennifer there. We had a number of people, and we had what, 5 to 6, 7, 8 people a day every week. So we had a lot of makeups.
Awesome. Anybody else happy? I see some more happiness back here. Dale's happy. Glad I wore my tennis shoes.
I'm happy for two reasons today. One was it's great to be back here and to hear the pledge and the four-way test in unison instead of 900
Amen.
voices. Second thing is my grandson is a junior at the University of Kentucky, and he raised his right hand this morning. I got sworn into the contract program there to go into the Air Force when he graduates from college.
Anybody else happy? Oh, Sana's happy.
Putting in a little extra to catch up on a couple of weeks that I hadn't done anything here. So I just wanted to echo Nelson's message about the football, and any of y'all that were not able to see the Battle of the Woods this year. It was absolutely the most incredible game I've ever seen. I watched it on TV like 3 times and just could not believe the excellent players on both sides. As our president would say, there are good people on both sides of that battle.
Thank you, Sana. Anybody else? Okay, I think that
All
does
right.
it for Happy Bucks.
Anybody on Zoom want to be happy for the group? Or shall we move forward? All right. We do have one thing that I wanted to share. This is a Happy Bucks moment. And the winner is. We have a thank you note. The club, as you know, donated money from Happy Bucks back when we met in June to Officer Destin Legaza's Memorial Fund, and the foundation also worked on committing some funds to that as well. Heather Legaza writes to us a note of thanks. Thank you so much for your very generous donation to the Destin Legaza Memorial Fund. I appreciate it so much, and the community support has been amazing. The kindness from others to honor my husband and give so generously has been incredibly humbling. Thank you, and God bless, Heather Legaza. And she sent a little window sticker, Destin Legaza window sticker. Very cool. Yes, sir. And I'm going to read the first sentence. Okay. The first sentence of this note says, Dear Rotary Club of Brentwood, the Tennessee Baptist Children's Homes gratefully acknowledges your 8/31/2020 gift of $5,000 for the Brentwood Campus Food Drive. That's the first sentence. Is that all you want? So that's very cool. And then Williamson Inc. Leadership Brentwood says, I'd like to thank the Rotary Club of Brentwood Charitable Foundation for the generous donation of $1,000 on June 3rd, 2020 to sponsor the Youth Leadership Brentwood class of 2021. So, man, we're just getting all sorts of love. What's that? So it's really great to be a part of an organization that gives. It gives back to the community, whether it be with our hours of service or our dollars. And it just so happens that we got 3 thank yous all at once for some of the things that we've done. When we're not meeting back together in person, we can forget of some of the things that we do as a group, and that's a shame. And so that is one of the many reasons that we are back together in person, meeting at least to some degree under normaler circumstances. I totally invented a word just there. Purple Pinky Donut Drive. So some of you were aware of this last year. There's when we do the vaccinations, the polio vaccinations throughout the world, and children are given the vaccine, they are to keep track of who's had it and who hasn't. They paint their little pinky fingernail purple to say that they have been given a dose of the vaccine. And so Dunkin' Donuts has partnered with us, and they are making purple pinky donuts available for a $2 donation each. So you can get a box of 10 donuts for $20. But here's the cool thing, and Betsy's about to talk some.
I have a slide of that, actually.
Okay, here's the cool thing. Betsy's going to tell us more about it in a little bit. So I will not steal her thunder, but do be aware of that going on right now, and we will participate in that. Also, this is really cool. Sorry, we have quite a few announcements today. Steve Grissom appeared in a tremendous article in the National Business Journal about human trafficking. He was given a good top billing as like a starting point if you want to learn more about the battle against human trafficking in Nashville and statewide in the state of Tennessee. It even mentioned that he is the past president of one Rotary Club of Brentwood, which was kind of cool. So if you get a chance, pick up that article in the National Business Journal and read about all it really is a great piece of journalism, an unusually long and well researched article. I didn't mean to say it that way. It's for the Nashville Business Journal. It's a really lengthy feature article, and in depth. And I'm just going to dig my hole deeper here. Yep. All right. So moving along. All right. Are there any other announcements that we need to make sure the club is aware of before we move on to what we're all here to listen to, and that is Betsy Crossley, Make the World a Better Place? Okay. So this is not ideal, y'all. This is not the presentation that Betsy dreamt of for the last 12 months as she worked on this. We are gonna deal with the wind a little bit. We are gonna deal with some compatibility issues on technology. And so I do want you to have an extra measure of grace, because she spent a long time on this, and this is really, really awesome. It's not gonna be all that she imagined it, but it's gonna be amazing. And I am super excited to hear from Betsy Crossley as she presents our Foundation Drive kickoff. Ladies and gentlemen, Betsy Crossley!
Thank you for that intro, Kit. We do have a few bells and whistles that are missing. There was a lot of movement and a lot of music and a lot of weird bored. So you may be a little bored with this, but I hope at least we'll end up coming to the same conclusion. That is, we're all about Rotary. We're all about doing good in the world and our community, and this is a good time for it. So what I'm going to do is just have a seat with my mouse, because it's the easiest way for me to run this now. And at the end, I'll take any questions that you might have. So excuse my back to your here, but you'll still hear me on the Zoom when I'm talking. All right. For those of you not on Zoom, it's that time of year again, but this year it's very different. And I think you got all agree with me on that one. So we're here actually to talk a little bit, for those of you who are new to the club, we're going to talk a little about what the Rotary Foundation is and how it can help the world. So we're going to actually show, first of all, what the Rotary Foundation mission is. If I can get to the next slide. At the end, you'll see peace through improvement of health, supportive education, and alleviation of poverty. And we have really been doing all those things for decades with this club. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to have collected some photographs to be able to show us in action. And I think by the time we get through with this presentation, you're just going to be amazed when you really think about all the things that we've done as a club, both locally and afar. So the 6 areas of focus of the Rotary Foundation are disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy. Are you seeing some themes we've been working with over the past years? Economic and community development, and peace and conflict prevention and resolution. And this year, on the next slide, you see there are actually 7 areas of focus. We begin with the environment. So as of July 21, we're going to be able to have global grants that focus on the environment, and Rotaract will be able to actually apply for global grants. So we're looking toward the youth to kind of help us out here and embracing new ideas for Rotary, thinking about the entire world. This was supposed to be a video. I'll give you the link sometime. It was awesome. Just saying. If you haven't seen it, basically tells who Paul Harris is. He's the founder of Rotary. And it gives a great quote there. In 1923, I think it was, he ends up donating $27 more or less. And it's grown into a $1 billion foundation. So just that small amount, I'm not asking you to give a small amount today by any means, but anything you give goes a long way to help Rotary. So for global grants, they're generally very large scale. They're going to support at least one of Rotary's 6 areas of focus. They are going to go on for long periods of time and be sustainable. In other words, not only when we leave the grant money, this particular project should be able to continue on its own. And Calcutta is a perfect example of that. Not only do we have to put things in place to last a long period of time, we have to show measurable results. It can be there for a long time and not do much. That's not going to be acceptable for Rotary. So generally, they're going to be $30,000 or longer. And the great thing about our Rotary Foundation drive is that the money that we earn and make for the Brentwood Rotary Club Charitable Foundation, that little seed right there is going to multiply many times. And you'll see this theme over and over again today, because the district often matches that. And if we do a global grant, then RI is going to match that. And we have other partners that would match that. You'll see that with Belize. So it blooms. If we have an idea, it doesn't matter how little it is to think about at the start. Dream big, because we can do great things. District grants, on the other hand, are a little bit shorter. They're funded by a little bit less money. They have a short period of time. It's a termination time. But we can do a lot of great things with that. So you see those. It's really important for us to be aware of that, for us to attend district conferences, to be able to actually write these grants and know what's going on. We have that coming on virtually this year, just like we're having trainings virtually this year. So far, right now, the RI convention is still being held in Taiwan, so we'll see. Of course, on October 24th, we have World Polio Day coming up. It's been amazing impact. There are basically 3 nations now that still have polio, and that's about it. The first one was Africa, and this was going to be playing Toto's Africa in the background. Do you hear that? Awesome. And then there's some Pakistani music in the background here. It's really cool. And then the next one, there's some Afghani music, which is really cool too. So, but these are really the only 3 nations that focus on anything left as far as wild polio disease is concerned. And I was reading on the Polio Plus website, and it appears that the wild polio strain is actually gone from Africa. There's still a little bit of polio, but it's not wild polio, which is awesome. So we're making great progress. So here's the Purple Pinky Day slide that I was telling Keely I had. You can see how the fingers dipped into ink because they can't keep written records. There are too many kids to vaccinate. So the picture there is of the Dunkin' Donuts that will be a part of what you would buy. There are 10 donuts per box. And so here's how the math ends up. It's really awesome. If you could read that on Zoom, you could. It says you as a Rotarian would donate $20. And then the district is going to say, well, great, then I'll match your $20. And Rotary International says, well, I'll tell you what, if you do $20, I'll match it too. So you get $60 right there. But wait, it gets better. There's more, like a TV commercial, right? The next thing is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are going to take the $60 that we already have, and they're going to duplicate that 2 to 1. So you get another $120. So by the time you buy one box of donuts, and by the way, you don't have to eat the donuts if you don't want to. You can just donate a box. Why don't you donate a box to one of our, our first responders? Why don't you donate it to somebody at the office? I told George about this last night. He's going to buy 9 boxes and put them at each nurse's station. Cool, right? So this is a great thing. And then the impact is 9x of your $20. So 9 times 180 is what I'll be donating to the Rotary Foundation. I don't know what that was, but okay, we're good. Beam me up, Scotty. The other good news is we keep on giving. Not only do you give $180 total to polio, in polio, we are also a part of a global project. So we get credit for that when Keely starts talking about the presidential citation at the end of the year. And we also have a way that for the money that you give and match at 180, you get 180 points for RI, which we'll talk about later. So it goes towards your Paul Harris Fellowship at 180 points per box of donuts. And not only that, if me on this one. So even though the date is for polio days is 24th, we're going to be delivering these on the 20th. And so if you are interested in doing this, this was supposed to be very readable as well. You can email me at betsy.s.crossley@gmail, or you can meet me after the meeting here. And what we'll do is we'll take your funds that you donate, we'll make sure your name is attached to that. We'll send it into RI so that you get your points. On the 20th, I'll be more than happy with the group that's working with me to bring the donuts that you ordered to your house, and you can distribute them as you see fit. All right? So with that, then I need your orders in by the 16th of October. A lot of information. It's okay. I'm going to email you this. So you can start giving today. You can pay by check. I'm guessing that probably you could go on the website and buy them by credit card. Just designate the fact that that's for Purple Pinky Day, okay? And I think this is a real opportunity for us to really help RI. So this just came in yesterday on an email. I added it to the presentation because I think it's so cool. We take cash. Absolutely we do. So on the BRCCF and global grants, everything starts from the BRCCF. And one of the main places that we've had global grants has been India. And that's supposed to be the Taj Mahal in the background. All right. For those of you on Zoom, we are losing our flags and we're losing our four-way test and everything. The wind has decided to blow. They did save the flag before it touched the ground. That's awesome. Oh, not once, but twice. Somebody needs a picture of Linus. Okay, he just did the Iwo Jima pose. It's awesome. All right, we'll continue on. So one of our global grants started with Molly Chatterjee, and we miss Molly, but her legacy lives on. And for those of you who could actually see this, it talks about all the things that her clinic does in Calcutta. Interestingly, her clinic is in the same district as our new Rotary International president for next year is. It's not far away from where his home is. Do things from pediatrics to ophthalmologic care to well visits to physicals, medical physicals, EKGs, and fulfilling eyeglasses. So just so much going on there, and we're very, very proud of them. You can go to the Facebook page and take a look and see it a little bit better yourself. It's at rotaryappi.clinic.org. rotaryappi.clinic.org. Here's a picture of Gil and Molly first arriving in Calcutta. I'm sorry, this is not optimal viewing. A picture of the actual clinic, and up here you can actually read Brentwood Rotary USA. So we are on the building actually. Here's some folks waiting in line to get glasses, and here's the ophthalmologic surgery being done. So a lot going on, and a lot's already been done. It's going to continue to grow. All started right here at the BRCCF. Of course, Bangalore with Charles and his family, very important. We were able to, first of all, build a new floor for this orphanage where we could, the children could actually use those for meeting places. They could actually sit on the floor. It was all broken up. We had to take it all out and then put a new floor in. And then we followed that up by an additional project, which was to have 3 orphanages supplied with computers. And in India, where girls aren't necessarily given first dibs on jobs, this is going to let these gals have a head start to be able to find jobs because of the technology that they're learning right there in their orphanage. They can take it to school, they'll take it into the world as well. And then Belize, amazing Belize. This is a 10-year project that we've just gotten through with, and Sarah's going to be talking more about that in her presentation about Belize. I have some pictures and some ideas of some things we've done. Interestingly, Belize is a combination of a BRCCF grant to begin with, which bloomed and blossomed all the way into a global grant. Totally, the whole thing is total over $100,000 over 10 years. And a lot of good has been done in Belize. The first part was with Punta Gorda with books for schools, and it bloomed from there into all these other things, building cafeterias, establishing gardens at school, refurbishing the bathrooms at a school that already existed, solar panels to make a pump that's going to distribute water all the way from the river up to wherever it needed to be at schools or at cafeterias, establishing gardens, and then once the gardens were established, learning how to take the bounty from those gardens and can or preserve those so that they could be used throughout the year. And then there was a little bit extra kind of fun too, where we investigated the local flora and fauna. Hand washing stations were big. And we got a plaque on those that really shows how everything works together. You look at the logos underneath, it's the World Ministry of the Ministry of Health in Belize. Japan had some input into this, as well as the Rotary Club. And it's an amazing compilation of partners to be able to make this happen in Belize. So you saw the 6 areas of focus. Here's the quiz. What are they? No, I'm just teasing. Okay. The cool thing is, let's look at those 6 areas, and here we go. Look at all of the places that we have managed to benefit people using those 6 areas of foundation focus. Huge projects. We should be very, very proud of that, folks. Absolutely. So right here, now, can you hear Alan Jackson playing in the background? And can you see my Rotary Club spinning, doing a line dance? It is, believe me, I see it right there. And he's singing Where I Come From. So here we are at Brentwood. What have we done at home? A whole heck of a lot as well. All because you gave BRCCF. BRCCF is what I'm going to use for the Brentwood Rotary Club Charitable Foundation. It's a lot easier to say. The BRCCF is the charitable arm of our club. If you say our club gives something, it's not really our club, it's the BRCCF. Our club just has operational funds. Pay your dues, pay for food, pay for a place to meet when we finally figure out what that is. And, it's just all the normal stuff that a club pays for. BRCCF, on the other hand, tax-deductible charitable arm, separate bylaws, a separate group of individuals that are board of trustees. Chair is Larry and Treasurer Steve Passon here. And I'm secretary this year because the president-elect is always secretary. Separate group of trustees, but everybody is from the Brentwood Rotary Club. But here's where it all starts. This is where it all starts. You can see here how we work with all of our different committees. They're so important at bringing us things. We may hear of a need in the community. We have ongoing projects, for instance, community grants. We certainly do 3 $10,000 grants there, plus extra. We have the scholarships for our youth, the 4-way contest, special emergencies. Like just recently when we had the tornado, we spent $35,000 helping folks in 3 counties around us to be able to get some stability in their community once again. Amy Hawkins back in 2006 when tornado caused her to be injured so that she became where she couldn't walk anymore. We gave her a van to make sure she could get around with her children. So you never know what you might end up having to take care of. Another good example, Baptist Children's Home, $5,000 we just did. So we're doing good in the community all the time, but we can't do that unless the foundation stays funded and funded well. So the initial step for funding any project we do, whether it's going to be a global grant, a district grant, or just a grant that we're going to do for our area, it will be starting at the BRCCF. How do we earn that money besides the foundation drive? Thank you, Larry. Fantastic job at the golf tournament. We need to give Larry a hand. It went fantastic. And for a COVID year, it was unbelievable. Larry doesn't have the numbers quite yet, but I will tell you that I think we probably left about 15 to 20% of what we could have earned behind because of COVID. It's just difficult. We didn't have as many sponsorships as we thought we were going to have. So, oh, and by the way, if you haven't andied up your money that you owe with your golf tournament money, please do so. Don't make us give you a call. Okay. So the golf tournament earns a huge amount. And the only other fundraiser we had was Pancake Day. And I've got some old pictures of Pancake Day, but we couldn't even do that this year. Yeah. I mean, we haven't had it now for a couple of years. So that's $26,000 that we don't have in the BRC. But I've got some great pictures. So got Chief getting dunked and John, and this was a fantastic slide. Can you hear the circus music playing and see that clowning around, going round and round and round and round, and all of a sudden these clowns drop in. It's awesome. And I've hidden that picture for some years because when I was on the city commission, I could just see a sign coming out one day that said, "Why in the world would you vote for this clown?" So I've hidden it until today. We have Habitat for Humanity bills over the years, and thank you, Hunter, for doing those. Let me go back real quick. We're not doing those anymore, but under community services, we're doing a bunch of other things that continue. Thank you, Roger and Shirley, for the Rotary Reads, and then the Harpeth River Cleanup. Patrick, you're awesome on that. Skip, you've done a great job over the years too. So we continue to do great things. Here's the new part of our focus on community service. Sarah will talk about this in her other presentation on inclusion playground. This playground is sort of if you haven't ever seen one, this gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. This is Smyrna's concept drawing, but you can see it's a lot of fun and a lot of covers over it, which will make it cool for kids that can't get around very much. The campus is incredibly beautiful all over. It's very colorful. And on this side, you see that there are ramps that lead all the way around and come off and on so that you can access all those if you are disabled. But this is it's a great thing for all kids. This is an inclusion program, which means everybody is part of that. So this is in Smyrna. This is Smyrna's concept drawing. And now at the rec center, there is a splash pad that the city just built with conjunction of the county. So it's awesome. And it looks kind of like that. And the cool, yeah, go ahead.
told I need a microphone. This is the area where that inclusion playground is going to go. This equipment that you see next to you is going to be repurposed, I believe, in other parks, and a pour and plaid playground. And so literally you're looking at where our next project is going to be. So
No problem. I was just going to say, so just look over there and imagine that more good being done, and it could look very good. That's right. It'll be amazing. And of course, other programs that we do, we honor our first responders. And in the background, Ohio Players Fire is playing just at equal time to both fire and police. Fire, yeah. Yeah. You can't really read the red here. This says Brentwood. This is the Baptist Children's Home. And you can hear Andy Williams in the background singing Silver Bells. It's just so awesome. Next, you have the Community Service Award. We didn't get to do this year. We do have a nominee, but we are trying to wait on that when COVID finally goes away so we can have them there in person to be able to talk to us about their service. But here are 4 past awardees, and we have Tom Bain, Bill Jim Vaughn, Glenn Huff, and of course Ray Little. And amazing stewards to our community, did fantastic things and well worth those honors every time. We have community grants, $10,000 times 3 for big grants, and then the smaller grants under $1,000. And this year, when we awarded those grants, we did them in masks, which was really weird, but we did get the checks to the people that deserved them, which is awesome. And then the emphasis on youth. We have our 4-way contest, scholarships. Interestingly, this year, I don't know quite what we're going to do about the scholarships because a couple of the Rotary folks don't even have the club going because of COVID. So we'll see what goes on there. But it's always a very vibrant group of kids, of presidents that are just awesome. Then we have the Rotary Youth Exchange, and we've been able to host a lot of kids. One of the banners says that they're from Rotary up here, and we have RLI, or RILA is really how we say it, Rotary Leadership Youth Awards is what that really is. But it's like an institute. I should have changed that. Our levels of giving. So here, where the rubber meets the road, we have different levels in Rotary, and I'm going to go over all of them, but I put an emphasis by the one that's important and beyond. You can be a sustaining member by donating $100, which is great. As a club, you can be an average of $100 and be a sustaining club. But for us, when you join Rotary, when you join Brentwood Rotary Club, you agree to be a sustaining member club, and that is every Rotarian every year. That means that everybody in the club gets at least $100 to the Rotary Foundation, period. We rely on that. And Keeley relies on that as part of his Presidential Citation Award. So beyond that, if you keep giving money and you eventually reach $1,000 worth of donations, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. The difference between a Paul Harris Fellow and being a member of the Paul Harris Society is if you're a society member, that means you continue to say that you promise you will give $1,000 each year. And you can do it over the entire year, or you can do it just one at a time. But members of the Paul Harris Society every year give at least $1,000. A major donor is once you've reached the $10,000 level of giving, you're considered a major donor. And then there are many levels of that up to $1 million. And then the Arch Clump Society just stands alone. Arch Clump was the first Rotary International president. So if you give a one-time $250,000 or equivalent donation to Rotary, you are considered a part of the Arch Clump Society. And Molly Chatterjee did that before she left us, which was an amazing thing. So she was a member of the Arch Clump Society. And then finally, if you think ahead way down the road, if you want to include Rotary in your estate plans, then if that's great, you become a benefactor. If you leave at least $10,000 or more, then you become a member of the Rotary Bequest Society. So it's a lot of information at one time, but the main thing that we need to remember is we need to give at least $100, but more importantly, we need to give more than that to be able to support the foundation as well. And again, this was supposed to be a lot bigger. This is the form that you normally receive every year. And I'll just kind of go around the top real quick. Up here, you'll see your name. You'll see your Rotary International number. You'll see our district number, and you'll see our club number. If you haven't signed into Rotary.org, you need to do that. You can use the credentials you use to sign in Club Runner. And you can see at any time how much money you've given over the year. In fact, how much money you've given over time, the whole time you've been in Rotary. So for tax purposes, that's amazing, but it also gives you a real feeling of, wow, over the years, if you've been a member for 13 years or 17 years, wow, look what good we've really done. It's amazing. This is on the Rotary.org site, Rotary.org. So this, we're going to actually, Bart and I are working to try to get this to you in an email. It has two portions to it. The top here is your donation to Rotary International. The bottom part here is your donation to Brentwood Rotary Charitable Foundation. We're asking that you give at least $100 to Rotary International. In fact, we are requiring that because that's part of your promise that you made to us. If you want to give more, like $1,000, then that would help you with the Paul Harris Fellowship. The other cool thing is you don't have to go to the Rotary site to be able to tell how much more you owe or you would have to pay to become another Paul Harris Fellow, because up here we're going to put exactly how far away from getting another Paul Harris level you are, so you know where you stand on that. For your Rotary donation to BRCCF, we are asking the same as we are for Rotary International. Last year we asked $350 for each to really meet our club's goals. This year we're very sensitive to the fact that it's COVID, and for some it's been very, very difficult financially. So we've lowered that to $300 a piece instead of $350. So we're hoping that we can get that squared away, and that you'll help us reach the club goal of about $32,700 for the foundation and $32,700 for RI. You put your total here and put your signature, and then down at the bottom where you really can't see, it tells you if you would like to donate your points that you receive from your donation for the for Rotary International, you can do so by honoring somebody that you love, like Sarah. You know, you have a wonderful nephew, and he's just awesome. Fisher's awesome. So I mean, I don't mean Sarah. I mean Gigi. I'm sorry. So Gigi, would you agree that you will donate $1,000 this year to be able to give him? All right. See how easy that was, right? So think of someone you love and you care about. Think about a mentor that you want to honor. Think about a special person in your life and what you could do with the Rotary points. I gave one to my dad, who was a Rotarian but never reached the Paul Harris Fellow level. You would have thought I'd given him $1 million. It's awesome. So, and you know my dad, as you saw him. But anyway, it's just that it'll make you feel good, and you'll realize that all the good you're doing, when you tell the person what that is, what is this Paul Harris Fellow? I'm honoring you with this, and look at all the good you're going to do in the world because of your fellowship. It's just awesome. It really is. So if you go to the website, you can write a check, and that's great. But if you want to pay by credit card, you can do that. If you want to pay by PayPal, you can talk to Patrick. So you would go to the website. You don't even have to sign in. All you have to do is check right up here. That's supposed to be yellow, and there's supposed to be an arrow that comes up like that and shows you exactly where to go. Click on payments, and the next page will look like this. And so you get this, and right here, there are lots of choices to where you want to pay. You want to pay your golf tournament that you still owe, you can do that here. Or you can pay your dues here if you ever wanted to. Or you can check BRCCF, either here or here. We give you two chances to give. It's awesome. So BRCCF, you click on that, and then the form will come up where you can fill in your name, the amount you want, the credit card information, and it works great. So it's just 2 clicks and you're in.
Right.
And in case you've forgotten, our website, it's brentwoodrotary.org, and you just log in with your credentials that you used to get in there. course, now we got the big question, and that is, that was supposed to fade in and be very dramatic and say, can we count on your generous support for the foundation drive this year? And then the next slide, a different kind of ask, did some weird stuff just to be different. And the main thing is, this is an awesome slide right here. So I'm going to just go on to the next one real quick. That's the Brentwood Beatles, just so you know. And I'm going to do my little ask here. If we can just cover that for a minute. Can you block that out by any chance? If not, you're going to see part of my script, so that's okay. Yeah, I could block it out. It's the end of my program. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so in the great Beatles tradition, I have included a few Beatles names so you'll know. And listen for those names, but more importantly, listen to what they say and the ask for the foundation. So I'm asking you, do you want to know a secret? I know what y'all have been thinking. I saw her standing here, right? And I knew she was going to ask me for money. But that's true because today is Foundation Day for the Brentwood Rotary Club. And we need your help. The Brentwood Beatles need your help because we need to raise as much money as we can for the Rotary Foundation. I hope you'll remember the things we said today because even though it's been a hard day's night with COVID-19, I'm sure that you're going to reach deep and do the best job you possibly can. You can tell by my script, I'm not a paperback writer, but I know with a little help from my friends, we're going to do great. There are lots of ways to contribute, by check, by cash, by PayPal. We can work it out. And your donations are always deductible when the tax man comes to call. So let's come together and let it be a remarkable year for the Rotary Foundation. Don't let me down. And by the way, I love you. Yes, I love you. Yeah.
Betsy, that was so much better than the one that we had to endure last year. Woo! Thank you, thank you. And we definitely did obviously have some compatibility challenges, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how long it took you to figure out how to make the screen bulge out to emphasize points like that. It was amazing, amazing. In all sincerity, we do depend on this drive every year to fund our local foundation as well as to fund our club's donation to Rotary International. Some amazing things are done through both organizations. Please don't forget either one. Don't neglect either side of that equation. We would like for you to seriously consider what your gift will be this year to both of those and be as generous as you can afford to be. We just some housekeeping stuff. Even with the challenges, it is good to be together. We will be together again here next week. It will be a little warmer. I cannot promise that the wind will blow less, but we will be here one more time next week. Again, I do have the Martin Center double checking with their powers that be, but it does not look like we will be able to meet back there for quite some time. So here this week, here next week, the following week, we are working on an indoor facility that we can go to and meet in person indoor. We will continue to have Zoom available for those who need or want it. But we will try to phase back into some sense of normalcy. We all miss it. We all need it. We all desire it. So we're working toward that. Anything else before? Yes, Ray. Amazing, amazing. I thought for sure he had figured out some way to work out Yellow Submarine into the foundation drive. I was going to be super impressed. All right. If there is no other business for the good of Rotary, oh, there is other business.
So if you're going to sign up to come, please come. But there's 10 lunches over here if anybody wants to take one home for their spouse or dinner or whatever. Like I'm going.
All right. Thank you all. We are adjourned.